Hi, good afternoon, Pooba.
Good afternoon, Kumaran. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. And how are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just finished morning training session and had lunch and then trying to do follow up on some meetings.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, we are slowly transitioning out of this entire COVID situation with the current restrictions.
Yes,
So, how
yes.
are you holding up so far?
Yeah, the recent 4-week restriction sort of spoiled the excitement, but never mind. It's all coming to a conclusion. We are opening up again. We are thankful for the opportunity to get back to the near normal or the new normal.
Right.
Next week we can go out for coffee and so on. So look forward to opportunities to meet up with our insurance and broker clients in Singapore.
Lovely. Thanks, Pooba. So, I'm really, really grateful that you joined us today. And as you had been aware, we are doing a lot of sessions to connect with the financial consultants and agency leaders with our insurance collective. And we also spoke about the Academy, right, which is the social learning platform where we get advisors to connect with coaches, mentors, and industry professionals such as yourself to amplify and grow their insurance business. So I'm really glad to have this session, and it's actually called the hashtag Stay Friday, where we connect with industry pros such as yourself, where there's a lot of relevance and link to the life insurance business. And today is going to be exciting because you have been in the general insurance industry for quite a long time.
Yes.
So if you could perhaps give us an introduction about yourself, Pooba.
Okay, thank you. I'm not a hardcore insurance personnel because I come from an engineering background. My first degree is actually in engineering, and I worked with a contractor and consulting engineer before venturing into the business of risk and insurance. So even when I went into the field of insurance, my earlier involvement was more in construction and engineering type of risk. So in those kind of situations, we get involved in developing insurance coverage, looking at the risk and trying to appreciate what are the kind of issues, technical issues involved, and then looking at claims, things going wrong. So that sort of experience in the engineering and construction field sort of gave me the start in involvement in the insurance industry. Then I also spent some time with an insurance company, getting involved in a lot of major risk, industrial risk, not only in Singapore, but in the region. This was with a regional insurance company based in Singapore, but they had a lot of, they had underwritten a lot of industrial and property risk in the region and beyond. So during that period, I had a lot of experience dealing with this kind of complex engineering and industrial risk. And finally, about 5 years ago, I went on to set up our business called Talent Asia Training and Consulting, where we provide training, advisory, and also risk surveys for the market. That sort of gives you an overview of my experience over the years.
Right. Thanks, Pooba. So in the part of the training and advisory, right? So how does that match up, and what is the relevance to financial consultants and agency leaders of the training?
Yeah, I suppose like almost all professionals, they need to have continuous education. CPD training is one of the requirements for most professionals, whether it's an engineer, doctor, or financial planners, and so on. So we are able to provide those sort of guidance more in the general insurance field. So that's what we try to do. So we conduct training sessions for companies and various organizations in the general insurance sector. Specifically would be more focused towards the technical subjects like engineering, construction, machinery breakdown, electronic equipment insurance. There are many, a series of engineering topics which the layperson may not know. Right. But maybe now it's time for the general insurance, the life insurance practitioners to get to know more about these topics, and they are able to promote these products as well on top of their standard life insurance list of subjects.
Right, that's so true, because what we have seen is life insurance agents have naturally been honed to just do life insurance sales and products and solutions, right? And they have given general insurance a skip, and there are only a few practitioners. There used to be a few practitioners in the past who completely aced and focused on GI. right? Now we are seeing a trend of a lot of advisors and agency leaders, the younger ones too, who are then moving into the general insurance space.
Yeah.
What is your observation on that? Have you seen such a shift as well?
Yeah, I have. In me, while conducting training for agents, not only in Singapore, but in Kuala Lumpur as well, I find that there are agents who are doing both. They do life products and they also get involved in general insurance. And I think it's a good idea because they are targeting the common clients. The
Right.
guy who you are promoting a life product will also need to buy a motor insurance cover, and he also needs to buy a fire policy for his house. And if he's running a business, maybe he needs business interruption cover. So why not? The life guy can cross-sell and offer the general products as well. Why not?
That's right. So that cross-selling element is very clear there. And,
Yeah.
and I see it, and I think most of the life insurance practitioners see it too. But there is always that point in which, there is this myth, or maybe it's a reality where doing general insurance business might be a bit more harder in terms of the claims and processes and all of that. How
Yeah.
does that match up then?
Yeah, the point that you mentioned, GI is often seen like a complex product being sold in the market because life insurance practitioners, they're quite used to their products, life products, maybe a bit of, the standard PA and so on. But when they go into GI, they get a bit confused because there are too many, the long list of products. And also, the coverage varies. The fire policy is a peril-based policy. It only covers for fire, lightning, explosion. Then you can buy the extra perils. Then you go to something else like contractor all risk. It's an all risk cover. There's no specific perils being mentioned. Of course, there are exclusions and conditions to comply as well. So all these terms, technical terms and jargon sometimes confuses the new players coming into general insurance. So what we try to do is conduct training, and our training sessions are normally made quite simple to address these kind of challenging situations. So we try to make it simple and provide very direct examples to make it easier for the new guys to come in from the life insurance side coming into GI, or even new agents coming into the GI business to understand better. So that sort of simplified training works to make them understand and be able to promote these products in an easier form to their customers.
That's true, Pooba. We have seen that as well, right? And simplifying the training process is so key in them at least representing it to their clients.
Sure.
And you're right when you said that the same life clients could be GI clients.
Yes.
And
yes.
the organic acquisition or cross-selling or upselling can also come through when they're also acquiring new leads from the company insurance standpoint or employee benefits engagement standpoint as well.
Of course, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what would your suggestion be, Pooba? If let's say, let's take a young advisor, a rookie advisor who gets into the industry, he might not have that much of a clientele base.
Yeah.
But he's very keen on getting involved in the GI business.
Sure.
What would your suggestions be for him or her to take such a
move? He's got to start expanding his network. I think the networking part is going to be the key, and he can start with using the customer base that is already built on the life side. So using that base, then he can expand further. And at the process, in the process, he's also got to learn a bit more about the GI products. You need to understand the entire GI products, because really GI products can be very wide. You've got marine, non-marine, you got motor, non-motor, and the list goes on. And then even you go into property, you got property casualty, and you got a whole list of topics, and you got cyber insurance, and you got so many different types of policy that comes under this GI class. There's even event cancellation policy. So when Olympic Games or something is cancelled, then there's an event policy that will trigger. So there's so much to talk about. We talk about GI and perhaps attending training and learning, spending time learning is one of those methods to improve the understanding of the subject and be able to sell these products to the market even better.
Right, right. Thank you for that. That's quite the intense knowledge that comes about. Again, you see, it's such a big market to look
It is.
into.
It
Now,
is.
you have done a lot of these commercial general insurance, especially when it comes to structural or engineering. Yeah?
Yes.
Now, in this situation with the current COVID climate, how has that impacted business flow for these organizations?
I think j- talking to fellow practitioners in the insurance industries, whether they are brokers, insurers, or reinsurers, in a way, it's business as usual, although a lot of the staff are working from home. But
Right.
the transactions are still going on because there are still new projects.
Mm.
Factories are still running. Production, manufacturing work is still going on. They still need insurances. Policies got to be renewed. So you have the annual policies being renewed. You've got new contractor all risk or erection all risk policies being placed, being arranged, being secured. The reinsurers are also busy with the renewals.
Mhm.
So even premium income has been fairly reasonable. I have not seen any reductions in terms of premium generation, but in terms of claims payout,
Mm.
reserving for COVID-19 related issues, there were some reports in the media talking about some 40 billion US of some big numbers being talked about in terms of reserving in
Mhm.
relations to expenses related to COVID-19 type of losses. But this may not really be affecting the Singapore market because our policy wordings for the business interruption
Yeah.
cover are different compared to those in the Western or Australian markets, a bit different.
Right, that's so key. The business interruption word, I think all of us have been hit by that, right? On that note, whether it's an organization or an individual per se, especially in the life insurance or general insurance industry. And you said that the wordings are very different in other countries as opposed to Singapore. Do
Yeah.
you think that might change in the future, Pooba, where these pandemic insurance comes into play?
Yeah. So again, I'm referring to the property market, the property
Right, right.
insurance market. Their
Mhm.
wordings are a bit different compared to the West. There was some case law reported where some European insurers were obliged to make payment
Mhm.
for the uh, business interruption related losses. So that's the European experience. But in Asia, the policy terms, not only Singapore, but generally in Asia, the policy terms and the clauses are a bit different. It's a bit more restrictive. The coverage for COVID related losses are not provided. If you have if there may be some coverage, if you have a fire, then your business interruption policy will pay. If you have an explosion, then the business interruption will trigger. But the COVID-related type of coverage is very restrictive, and we have to look at the specific clauses in relation to that
Right,
subject.
right, right. So that is very interesting, and I do hope that there is some change to that because we might never know when we would get out of such a pandemic, right?
Yeah,
And business owners have been really hit. We are talking about. I personally feel, especially the F&B and services industry, and these guys have taken such a massive hit, and we never know their continuity. I think I read a report a couple of weeks ago which said that over 1,000 businesses have already closed in the past couple of months.
yes, of course. Well, these are the challenges not only in Singapore but in Asia and the rest of the world. A lot of industries, small business people, the F&Bs, as you mentioned, are all in big trouble. So we hope that the current vaccination efforts and also other social distancing procedures will make things better, safer, and we get out of this as soon as possible.
Lovely, lovely. Thanks, Pooba. So, on that note, I'm pretty certain a lot of advisors and agency leaders have an organic client base where many of them are business owners or maybe even in the HR departments. I would say that when they cluster or classify the demographics of their clients into, say, business owners and HR professionals, it would give them that lead into opening up new markets for them, opening up new accounts to complement their life insurance business,
Sure.
thereby then
Yeah,
opening up more upsell and cross-sell opportunities with GI and then life again in this circle
of
here.
course.
What would
Yes.
your advice be to these guys who are looking to explore GI at this point?
Yeah, I think that's you said it. Looking at upskilling and upselling and cross-selling products. These are techniques and methods used world over for insurance practitioners. They must innovate and look at opportunities. Life insurance agents must look at the opportunities that lie ahead with the GI side, and it's also part of insurance. And it's time for them to take the initiative to start promoting GI products as well. And there's opportunities to do more on the GI side. Definitely. I mean, there's marine, there's construction, there's fire policy, property, casualty. There's all sorts of products available. So most general insurance companies have a long list of products available, and it can be easily made available to the market.
Right. Okay, one last question linked to that as well.
Sure.
There is the opportunity available, but then how do advisors or leaders open up to their business owner clients who say that, well, I don't have the budget right now, or I don't think it's important, or I don't see anything happening. It is the same objections and rejections that we would face in the life business, right?
Yeah.
And, it's similar in the business insurance context. And how would we want to overcome these rejections that come out?
Sometimes newspaper headlines are useful to share with customers. There was an explosion in Tuas. There was an industrial accident where there was a fire or explosion, or there was another incident where the construction site something went wrong, and due to that, contractor has to make good the damages and so on. So like that, there are a lot of examples that you can pull out from the newspapers and put this into a kind of a deck to share with clients on what can go wrong. And these kind of examples or case studies are brilliant to educate business owners as well on the importance of getting the right insurance cover for their business.
Right.
Simple example, there was a steamboat restaurant along Beach Road. There was an explosion at their what restaurant is it? It's the cooking. They're having the steamboat, and the gas cylinder exploded, and a few people were injured. And this was a classic restaurant incident, which you thought everything is safe and nice, but things went wrong. And a few of the customers were injured in the incident. So that incident was covered under the fire policy as well as the public liability insurance, because there's coverage for the guests who are dining at the restaurant. But this I'm quoting maybe a case that happened about 3-4 years ago.
Right.
And the importance of having insurance to safeguard the interests of the business owner. Both the material damage cover to cover against his shop and the furniture, as well as the public liability exposure, because members of the public will take action to sue the shop owner for not maintaining the facilities in good condition.
Correct. That's so true. And these are things that we all often take for granted, don't we? We think it's the same thing with how life insurance works. We think it will never happen to us, but it somehow does. And when we go to a restaurant, we take care of everything else, but not the most important thing, which is the liability, public liability, indemnity as well, which is very important.
Yes.
Professional indemnity. And fire is often taken for granted on that context, fire insurance. Right? Yeah. And when we look at this part, so these are all part of the establishment. Now, a key thing on the mind of advisors and agency leaders, if I might put through as well, is something called the key person's insurance, key man insurance.
Key man insurance, yeah.
Yes, and I feel that there is a lot of link with that, as well as life insurance.
Of course.
Right? And how can advisors, mainly the more seasoned advisors, right, look at this as a potential gold mine to work with?
Yes, definitely. It's something that can be developed. Yeah, it's a gold mine. It's a potential that needs to be developed, because it is something that business owners will definitely appreciate.
Right.
If you have to present it to them, the opportunity of such product covers as part of their operations, they need to think about key man policy besides the conventional fire policy or public liability policy.
That's pretty interesting, Pooba, because it comes to my mind. one of the case studies that I gotten involved with, where these were rice merchants, but these were siblings, So they had run this business for many, many years, and then it came to a point in which some conflicts happened, and they were looking at how they were going to restructure it so that it doesn't affect the second generation that runs it as well. So the context and link of where certain life policies and the key man insurance can head up as well on that note. And there are many of these businesses out there, right, that are still traditional in the focus.
Sure.
These are mainly the SMEs that are going up there, and I feel that it's also a civic duty for the advisors to take care of these guys.
Of course.
We don't have a backup plan.
That's right.
They do not have that, and it's all in that shop or in that restaurant or in that factory that is all theirs.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Pooba. I really appreciate the time that you have shared with us. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to several more sessions with you, but we should go in depth specifically on certain types of questions that the advisors and leaders might know.
Yeah. Thank you, Kumaran, for having me on the program.
Most
and I wish you well with your venture in the insurance consultation type of work in Singapore and in the region, perhaps.
Thank you so much, Pooba. Perhaps you could do us something, one pearl of wisdom for the advisors and leaders, if you could.
Wish you guys all the best, and I'm sure there's a lot to do besides doing the life insurance business. Do look at the general insurance aspect, because there is a lot of opportunities and prospect. After all, it's just cross-selling. You're just introducing the GI products to your same life clients. All the best, guys.
Thanks, Pooba. Thank you very much, and looking forward to connect with you soon again.
Thank you.